सर्वशास्त्राद् पीयूषा सर्ववेदैकसत्फला सर्वसिद्धान्तरत्नाढ्य सर्वलोकैकदृक्पृता सर्वभागवत प्राण श्रीमद्भागवत प्रभो कलिद्वन्द्वोदितादित्य श्रीकृष्णपरिवर्तित परमानन्दपाठाय प्रेमवक्षाक्षराय ते सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोऽस्तु मे मथेकबन्धो मत्सङ्गिन् मद्गुरो मन्महादन मन्निस्तारक मद्भाग्य मदानंद नमोस्तु मे असाधु साधु ददायिन् आदिनोचताकरा आनामुंच कदाचिन्मां प्रेम्णा हृत्कण्ठयो स्फुरा. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O nectar churned from the ocean of all Vedic scriptures, you are the most prominent transcendental fruit of the Vedas and are enriched with the jewels of all philosophical conclusions. You grant spiritual vision to all people of the world and are very life breath of the Vaishnava devotees. O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of Kali Yuga. Actually, you are Lord Krishna who has returned among us. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. By your recitation, one attains transcendental bliss because your syllables shower down pure love of God. You are to be served by everyone, always, for you are an incarnation of Lord Krishna. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, companion, and teacher, O my great wealth and deliverer, O my good fortune and bliss, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly, O uplifter of the most fallen, please never leave me. Accompanied by pure love of Krishna, please manifest yourself in my heart and throat. भूताैर्महद्भिर्य इमां पुरो विभो निर्माय चेते यतमूषपुरुषः भुङ्क्ते गुणान् षोडश षोडशात्मकः सोऽलङ्कृशिष्ट भगवान् वचांसि मे. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who enlivens the materially created bodies of the elements by lying down within the universe, and who in his Purusha incarnation causes the living being to be subjected to the 16 divisions of material modes, which are his generator, be pleased to decorate my statements. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now we are continuing with the prayers of Lord Brahma to Sirodhaga Sai Vishnu. Now, last week we saw that how all the different elements in this material world, like different demigods, are created by the Supreme Lord. This is the explanation of the Virata Rupa, not the personal form of the Lord. Of course, when the material world is created, the Lord's energy, external energy is acting. So now, one by one, he is describing how the material universe is. So now, Brahma is praying to each and every creation, how they are created in this material world, how Chandra is created, Indra is created, all these Prajapatis are created, and through that he is worshipping. Yeah, like he's saying that Supreme Lord is the cause of all the causes. So that Supreme Lord be pleased with us. That is the prayer. Now we are in the verse 41. So he's saying, Brahma is praying, the Brahmanas and Vedic knowledge comes from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the Kshatriyas and bodily strength come from his arms. The Vaishyas and their expert knowledge is of productivity and wealth comes from his thighs. And the Shudras, who are outside of the Vedic knowledge, comes from his feet. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is full in prowess, be pleased with us. So all the Varnas, so when we speak about a different class of people, the materialistic people get angry, right? Your God is discriminating. How come you can discriminate between one person from another person? So all these questions arises, but how to understand that? Like, who is better than who? Oh, the Brahmanas are better. Oh, the Shudras are not. But here the answer is in any society, all four classes of people are existing. Even if we say that we consider everyone equal, it cannot be equal. According to each individual's karma, they take different varnas. So in the differentiation is only in taking up some profession, but not in any other way. This is the ideal thing. Ideal situation is in Vaishnava community or in Lord's kingdom. The differentiation is on the basis of their desire and the basis of their karma. So somebody has done the karma to become a Brahmana, but by thinking that I am a Brahmana, I cannot have pride in me. So these differentiations are on the basis of their nature. In that nature, they came. Like it is not by birth; it is by their nature. It is by their ability. We can say it is not by birth. You cannot say that by birth I am a Brahmana. No, by birth somebody cannot become a doctor. Somebody cannot become an engineer. So after they are acquiring, right? So it is their nature to become a Brahmana, their karma and their activities make them differentiated into four class, and it is not discrimination. Definitely, we understand in the kingdom of Krishna there is no discrimination, but jivas are different with the different desires. So according to their different desires, they have different service. So this is not discrimination. So even when we think of Lord's Supreme Lord's lotus feet, we give more importance to lotus feet, right? Lord's all body parts are very important, and we devotees we are more towards the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. The sutras are coming from the lotus feet of the Lord. Okay, so there is no discrimination ultimately, but the discrimination comes according to their nature, according to their desire, according to their karma. Now, next verse, greed is generated from the lower lip, and affection is coming from the upper lip. Bodily luster from the nose, animalistic lusty desire uh, come from his sense of touch, Yamaraja from his eyebrows, and eternal time from the eyelashes. May that Supreme Person, Supreme Lord, be pleased with us. So, whatever in this material world, if you see, like, greed, anger, lust, all have the origin from the from the external energy of the Supreme Lord. It is not that if something in other religious thing, if you see, they say that bad things. There is nothing bad coming from the God. They say bad things are not from God, but God made the arrangement to encourage, like, different three modes are there. In that, the mode of passion and mode of ignorance are also from the supreme energy of the Lord. Maya is energy of the Lord. So even bad things are coming from the external energy of the Lord. So that doesn't make us like, okay, I will be bad. Krishna is giving you option, you remain bad or good, and accordingly you have to face the consequences also, right? So everything emanates from him. So verse 43, this has little bit longer explanation. We'll see how it is. All learned men say that the five elements, eternal time, fruitive activity, the three modes of material nature, and the varieties produced by those modes are all creations of Yogamaya. You see, this material world is therefore extremely difficult to understand. But those who are highly learned have rejected it. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the controller of everything, be pleased with us. Here, all the learned men say that whatever it is, the five elements, Panchabhutas, uh, sky, air, fire, ether, air, fire, um, water, and earth. All these Panchabhutas are coming from, five elements are coming from the Supreme Lord. And fruitive act, everything in this material world, three modes, everything are creations of the Yoga Maya. So Yoga Maya created everything. So this material world, it's very difficult to, especially if you see the Sankhya Yoga, is a third canto in Bhagavatam, which is described by Kapila Muni to the Ahoti, is very difficult to understand. What is this Sankhya Yoga? Sankhya Yoga is the study of the material elements in this material world. It's like, mm. So by understanding the material world, we get salvation. We try to get out of this material world. But understanding the material world is also very difficult, not easy. So what is the great acharyas are suggesting us just to reject it. So highly learned have rejected it. However great it may be, the material world is of course great. Great prison house, very well designed prison house. So they are saying, the acharyas are saying that you reject. May that Supreme Lord, so Brahma is saying that that Supreme Lord be pleased with me, pleased with us. So here, in this verse especially, when we come to the point of understanding and rejecting the material world, we are in this material world, and how we can reject the material world, you see. There are different examples given by the acharyas how we can remain in this material world, how we can. So in the beginning, Rupa Goswami suggests us that Yukta Vairagya. We use everything in the service for the service of the Supreme Lord. But ultimately, we have to reject also. So I was thinking that there are so many examples in this regard. So we should live in this material world like a lotus leaf. Lotus leaf is in the water only. It is very well in the water, but it is not untouched by the water. So we can live in this material world, but we should not be attached to the material world and material things. So one more example I was thinking when I read this verse, as all maybe you are all having small children. Some may have, some are young ladies. When the mother, father, child go to the beach area, imagine you are taking the child to a beach area. The child, what does the child do? Parents, they sit and talk to each other. But the children, what they do, they make houses in the sand, beach sand. They make nice, beautiful house or something, some building, some designs they do with the beach sand. And that, but they were playing very interestingly. They forgot what is happening. But what happens when the time comes, when the time to go for a home, the parents call the children, come on, leave everything, come, smash everything and come. The children also sometimes they they kick it out or destroy it, and then the waves come and destroy it, and then the children happily come with the parents leaving everything. Our situation is like that. When the dissolution or when the time of personal dissolution comes, devastation, then we leave everything and go. Come, it's time for you. Leave this. Don't have any attachment. Even if somebody is having attachment, they have to leave it. So when we understand this fact that one day we have to stop all these activities and go, then that is called renouncing the material world. So 1 minute now, Kirtan is stopped so that I'm very uncomfortable with this. Hare Krishna, are you hearing now? Anyone, please answer me. Are you able to hear?
Yes, Mataji.
Because this headphone I'm not used to. I feel that I was very uncomfortable with that. Anyway, now Kirtan stopped, so yeah. So this is the reality with us also. We have to leave this material world one fine morning, say goodbye. Even if we don't want to leave, Yamaraja pulls us. But devotees, we understand. Okay. Now our station has come. We have to get down and go. Because though it is very difficult to understand the material world, because material world behaves very differently, very, very differently. But devotees, we understand for sure many things. So here, Prabhupada is quoting a very famous verse from Bhagavad Gita, Mam upetya punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gata. So when we understand this material world is dukhalayam ashashvatam, this easily we can understand. How it acts, that is very difficult to understand. How the material world works on us, action and reaction. Karmano hi bodhavyam. Bodhavyam means very difficult to understand the intricacies of uh, karmic reactions. Very difficult. Like that, how the material world is working, we don't know. How the body, you take our own body, how inside it is working. It's very difficult to understand how the body is working on. Very difficult, you know. Very difficult to understand the mind, very difficult to understand others. So all these things are very complicated, but we ultimately understand that this is very temporary. And it always gives us the problems, sufferings. Anything in this material world, we had to struggle very hard. You see any point in anything in this material, we have to pay the price. So learned means acharyas, wise, a spiritualist, they suggest us, okay, don't have any attachment with this material world, anything. So gradually, that is not easier as we think. It is not easy. The attachment to the body, attachment to the house in which we live, attachment to the things which we use, attachment to the family members. So it's all very difficult. It's there. How we can detach? By attaching with Krishna. Then it is possible. Otherwise, it is not possible. By attaching ourselves with our sadhana bhakti, the holy name of the Lord, then this rejection of material world is possible. Otherwise, it is not possible. It's very difficult to, if you see that any dying person, very difficult because the soul is so attached. That person is so attached to the body, so it's very difficult to get out of the body. Very difficult. The struggle will be there, pain will be there, fear will be there. I have seen the old people, they are always crying, very rejected. But we have to boldly understand this, then it will be easy for us. Easy for us to leave the body, leave the material world. Gradually, we should develop this knowledge. This is knowledge. If gradually, by doing our sadhana and gradually understanding, oh, this is how the world is, then it is easy to reject it. Otherwise, it will not be easy. Then we have to come back again and again and again. So we should develop this knowledge. Next verse 44. Brahma is saying, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is completely silent, free from endeavor, and completely satisfied by his own achievements. He is not attached to the activities of the material world, though his senses, world through his senses. Indeed, in performing his pastimes in this material world,
he is just like the unattached air. Unattached air. Air, if you see, it comes from a dirty place. It carries the aroma, but it is not contaminated. It carries the nice smell of some flower garden area, but still it is the air is unattached in anything. It just goes. So similarly, the Lord, though he is the source of all these things, but he is not attached. He is not attached to anything. So, to such Lord, I am paying my obeisances. He is a Brahma. He is describing how great the Supreme Lord is. So, in if by seeing the material nature, we can understand the bigger hand of the Supreme Lord. We can see how he is silent. Krishna is not speaking, silent. And we can, he is very Atmarama, is self satisfied. And he is not attached to this material world at all. It is his property. If we have some property, we are so much attached to that. We don't get attached to somebody's property, but we are so much attached to our own properties, whatever it is. But everything belongs to Krishna. He is not attached. He is not attached. So that is, he is all renunciant. Krishna is all renunciant. So many times we hear from lectures that the gopis were the most beautiful ladies in the whole creation of the Supreme Lord. But still, Krishna, though he was reciprocating with their pure love, but he was not attached. He could easily get out. He went out of their sight. Though they are the topmost devotees, topmost pure devotees, but still he went out from the Rasa Leela to see that shows that he is the all renunciant, is one of the opulence of the Supreme Lord. He is all renunciant. He is not attached to anything, anyone. And the fifth verse, like 45 verse 45, this is also like very nice verse. Brahmaji is saying, "O Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are surrendered unto you, yet we wish to see you. Please make your original form and smiling lotus face visible to our eyes and to our, please, appreciable to other senses." Oh, Lord Brahma is asking, is requesting the Supreme Lord to come up, Supreme Lord to give him the darshan. Darshan of the personal form. So here, Prabhupada, in every page, he is writing about this impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord. There are three features we know: Brahman, Paramatma, and Supreme Lord. Devotees are not interested in Brahman feature, or devotees are not much attached to Paramatma also, because Paramatma feature is only in the material world. So Paramatma feature also may mislead somebody. So they are attached to the deity form of the Supreme Lord and the original form of the Supreme Lord. So here Brahma is asking, we want to see you. Generally, Acharya says that, we don't want to see the Lord, but we serve the Lord. And we behave in such a way that the Lord wants to see us. Rather, we pray that Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patakami Bhavatume. That is also there. But devotees give importance to the original form of the Supreme Lord, personal form of the Supreme Lord. They are attached to the personal form of the Supreme Lord. So here we have the same prayer in Ishopanishad also. So after all the prayers, 18 prayers are there. It is for 15th verse or something in Ishopanishad. Hiranmayena patrena satyasya apithamukam tatvan pusan apavranu satya dharmaya drishtaye. So if somebody, the Mayavadis, when they interpret, they quote different slokas and they say that Krishna, the Supreme Lord, the God is impersonal. He doesn't have any. There is one verse in that itself. It says, Asnaviram, Suddhama Papa Viddam, Nirguna. Like that, descriptions are, they are describing the Lord has no gunas, no veins. So no form like that, they interpret. But ultimately, Ishopanishad proves that he has a form. That's why the devotee is praying that you please remove the light, which is covering you. Hiranmayena patrena satyasya apitam mukam. So similarly here also, they are these demigods and Brahmaji. They are praying in the banks of milk ocean. They are here standing, but Lord was not visible to them. They are just praying. So if you see in the heavenly planets, in the upper planets, sometimes the Lord comes personally to take the arti. They come, but sometimes he doesn't come, only speak, only just speak. So the devotees are very anxious to see the Supreme Lord. Oh, we want to see you. Please, Lord, show us your merciful form. So, but during the Leela, if you see the churning of milk ocean, the Lord took so many incarnations to make the devotees happy, right? The demigods. So he took so many incarnations, especially this pastime is special because so many incarnations came. So he was there with them, but now they want to see him. The devotee definitely wants to associate with the Lord, speak with the Lord, and be with the Lord, because that's the ultimate happiness for a devotee, right? This separation is there with the Supreme Lord. Separation is there, but ultimately we want to be there with him, personally associate with him, talk to him, and serve him. So now I remember a pastime of Prithu Maharaj, and he was empowered incarnation, empowered king, Raja Rishi, Prithu Maharaj. He did Ashwamedha Yagya. I think I narrated this last week or so. I don't know. I don't remember. And Prithu Maharaj was very capable person to do Ashwamedha Yagya. Doing Ashwamedha Yagya is not at all easy. But Prithu Maharaj was ruling the whole world. So he performed 99 Ashwamedha Yagya. Ashwamedha Yagya means sacrificing the horse. Sacrificing the horse. So 99 was over. If we perform 100th Yagya, then he can become the Indra. That's the, what do you say? That is the achievement. So if somebody in this material world performs 100 Ashwamedha Yagyas, and they become Indra. Similarly, for Brahma, some things are there like this. They have to perform so much austerity so that they can become Brahma. But above Brahma, Lord Shiva's position is not attainable by humans. It's like, it is unattainable. But up to Brahma, anyone, like you can become a Brahma, you can become a Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Agni. So different demigods have different fruitive activity, and by performing that, that is awarded. Prithu Maharaj's aim was not to become an Indra, but it is the duty of a king to perform yagyas. So being a king, he performed. So when he performed 99, I will complete the pastime, then take the question, Rohini. So Prithu Maharaj did 99, and then when he was about to complete the 100th one, it was stopped by Indradev. Indradev couldn't tolerate, he cannot become Indra. No, I have to stop it. So he was stopping. He was doing so many uh, things for that. To stop it, he became a like pseudo sadhu, pseudo saint, and so all these things are yet to come in the Kali Yuga. So that's why he was displaying all these things. Every time he catch hold of Indra and Indra escapes, he was about to kill Indra, then and the other people say, no, leave, you cannot kill Indra. So all these things. Every time he starts the Yagya, Vashwamedha Yagya, then he comes, disturbs. This was going on. Prithu Maharaj could have killed Indra or arrested Indra. or stop him from disturbing the yajna. He had that power, supreme power. But when Brahma saw this, then he came down and he said, Prithu Maharaj, please stop this. Because let Indra become you have no desire to become Indra. Your desire is to go back home, back to Godhead. Now you stop this with 99. You are already famous, so you stop this. Okay, he stopped. When Indra stopped 99, Lord personally came. Sorry, when Prithu Maharaj stopped with the Yashomeda, Lord became very pleased. Yeah, enough. This is enough to please me. So he came personally on the back of Garuda. Then Prithu Maharaj started praying. Very nice, beautiful prayers. And the Lord, he also reciprocated with Prithu Maharaj, and the conversation went on nicely. Then when the Lord was wanted to go, disappear from the scene, Prithvi Maharaj had, this is a very nice exchange of love between a devotee and the Supreme Lord. So he performed this Ashwamedha Yagyas to please the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord personally came and they had a nice conversation. And Supreme Lord gave him benediction that he will have a pure devotee association because Prithvi Maharaj wanted pure devotee association. So Krishna promised him, yes, you will get it. You will get the association of Sanat Kumaras, Sampradaya head. So everything is done. Now the Lord is about to disappear. But he understood that Prithvi Maharaj wanted his presence little more. So he stood back. He stood back and waited for some more time and then he disappeared. So this is how the devotees, they want the Lord. If you see some devotees, they come to Mayapur, take darshan, again go and take darshan, again go and take darshan. And the thing is continuing. You know? So I have seen many times, it's very difficult to come out of the temple. So the bond between devotee and the Supreme Lord is so nice, so nice. And they don't want to leave taking darshan of the Supreme Lord. So Brahma is praying, please show your original form. Please come before us. Please give us your mercy. Okay. So this is how Brahma is praying. All the 5 prayers are over. Now 5 more slokas are there. Next week we will continue. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Rohini was raising the hand.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Prabhupada and Gurudev. Yeah, Mataji, recently in other class also we were hearing about this story. That time I had different question, now I have different question. So is it like, if he done 100 Ashwamedha Yagnas, so he'll become the Indra in this lifetime? No, right, Mataji? For one Manu, he'll bring his set of...
He has to leave the body and then go. No? It is
Okay.
awarded. I don't
Right,
know
right.
which lifetime they will award. He will
But
be.
he can't be a competition for the present Indra, right? Because that Indra, he'll be coming with
Maybe
that
Indra
Manu.
is insecure, no, always. Always Indra
Okay,
is on. That's why when some Rishi Munis, when they perform some tapasya, he disturbs them. Why he disturbs them?
They'll become competition for him.
That's why he disturbs
But my question is it like, he'll be the only Indra for that lifetime of Manu, right? Not anyone can become in that lifetime.
It's possible that the
Possible.
authorities can remove him and replace him.
Oh, okay.
Replacements happens also.
Okay.
He does some negative things.
Okay.
So he can be removed and replaced.
Sure, Mataji. Okay, got that.
Once he went for tapasya. That time there was one person who was qualified to become an Indra, Nagusa. You see, to become an Indra, it's very difficult. You have to do all these things. So it's like interim period. Indra was not pulled out. Indra wanted to do some tapasya, so he was out. So in that short period, they kept Nagusa as Indra. But the position and money makes people change, no? Nagusa, as soon as Nagusa became Indra, he wanted to enjoy Indra's wife also.
Oh, really? What?
So the Brahmanas cursed him to become a snake,
Okay.
become a snake. That, what do you say? This Ajigar, what is it?
Right, Mataji.
Yeah, Ajigar. It's a huge snake. So within a short while, within a very short while, is it possession gone. So losing also is possible if you do some negative actions, bad actions, sinful actions. When Indra commits many mistakes, but he gets repents, then there is a replacement is possible. Also, that's the insecurity you always have. All the you see any position, insecurity.
Right, Mataji.
In
Thank
the
you.
material world,
Yes.
positions gives you insecurity because anytime you may lose. Any other question regarding prayers or general questions? Any other personal questions like Rogini?
Yeah, Mataji, it's regarding this is a book marathon month, right?
Book
So,
distribution.
how do we approach the like there is a layout next to our house actually. So people are interested but not interested. When we hosted Damodar program, most of them came. But
Hmm.
when we asked them to host like us, nobody replied.
Hmm.
Though we posted other apartment people like they hosted and they got inspired like that. So
Give them prasadam, no? Little prasadam will work.
Prashadam, okay,
Prasadam. You give them prasadam.
okay.
And then
So if you can inspire lady housewife, the whole house can become Krishna conscious.
yes.
Just looking for
Hmm.
prasadam is fine. If you want to reach out to them for the book
You
distribution.
get nice prasadam from the temple
Then,
and give them this is temple prasadam.
okay.
When
But
we
the book
distribute
distribution,
prasadam to the neighborhood, one more problem we will face. The problem is that they will also give something to you. That
yeah,
time you have to be very clear that you follow strict rules and regulations.
right,
That's why you cannot take.
right,
If it is fruits, we can accept. You tell that if it is fruits, we can accept. But
yeah,
for
yeah.
example, if the neighbor is a non-vegetarian, how you can take?
Right, right. Only, I mean, generally, if I go, the people will give only fruits, Mataji. They know.
Then okay. Then okay. If they understood you properly, then you give nice prasadam to them. It will do some magics.
Yeah,
Prasadam and also Prabhupada's books, small books, try to give.
yeah. I
It's
mean, should
always
it as a free gift or some should do distribution for like book selling?
book distribution.
Yeah. Any tips for book distribution, Mataji? Free distribution that we can do though, but we have to make them buy. So, any tips for ladies?
Regularly, you go with some devotees. How do you do book distribution?
Okay.
How do you go?
In this book marathon, generally our Bhaktariksha people they go to temples, they
Ah,
set tables and they do like that.
yeah.
Uh, in
You,
our layout, I want to do to some ladies they're they're like little pious and they send their kids also to learn Bhagavad Gita classes, slokas to me. So, but I'm trying to find out any tips to do book distribution to them.
you directly ask, no?
Directly, yeah.
They are coming to your classes means what? Then they have to
They
pay.
are okay to take freely, Mataji, but not with that. Some of them are like, for the book, like if they have to pay, like they'll be hesitating. They say, we have this, we have that, we are not reading that. Like that, they say.
Once they come to the class, like for example, I started doing this Bhagavatam class, no? Many they attended, and then after that they purchased Bhagavatam set.
Oh,
So
okay.
many in my Bhagavatam group. So many they purchased because we are doing regular classes. Then they have to have their Bhagavatam
Right. Right.
set. So like that you can start some class.
Start reading. Yeah.
Start Bhagavad Gita class at home. Then they have to have their own Bhagavad Gita, right?
Right.
That
True.
motivation and for them to. So generally book distribution, known persons also better to unknown persons in railway stations or in temples.
Right. True.
What we do, what my father also do book distribution. When he does book distribution, many they don't. It's very difficult to make people to buy. Yeah? Difficult.
Yeah.
So my father used to tell one tip, just touch and see. I know that you don't want to buy. It's okay. You take the book in hand. That itself gives you benefit. It's punya. Just take
Right.
Bhagavad Gita. It's Lord, Supreme Lord. Just hold in your hand.
Okay.
And then you give it. No problem. You don't buy. Then
Right.
once they touch, they are inspired. These are all some techniques and which work.
Right.
So
True.
then
Yeah.
when they see, then when they turn around some pages, then they inspired to buy. You see how nice pictures are there in Bhagavad Gita also. If they see one or two pictures also, they will be inspired.
Right.
So
True, Mataji. Yeah. Thank you.
if you want to say that one Mataji was giving class for Bhagavatam distribution. Bhagavatam
Yeah.
distribution.
Yeah. I attended one class. Correct.
I didn't attend. But the thing is, when you distribute Bhagavatam, you take some very attractive story or some pictures, and you can say that one devotee used to describe in third canto only, again with Kapila Dev, teachings of Kapila Dev, that you see how the child grows, fetus grows,
Right.
which is now in modern world they are doing by scanning and all these things.
Right.
This is there already in Bhagavatam.
Right.
But these people, modern people, they invented, they did research, and then they found out. But it is already there in the Shastra, you see,
Right.
that we can show some specific interesting things and explain so that people get inspired to buy.
Right, Mataji.
Like that, you would take each and every book. When you take the book, you have to explain. And this book talks about this. Why don't you buy this? This book speaks about karma. Why don't you buy? Like that, you can explain one or two sentence about the book and then promote that book.
Right. Sure, Mataji.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Book distribution.
Thank you.
Here in Mayapur, unlimited devotees are there into that service. I have done long before in different cities now. I'm like, only in preaching and other areas. This is the very, very important service. This will please Prabhupada directly. Very nice that you please do it. Continue doing it. You read every book. Then only you will be able to
Yes, Mataji.
explain. This is the best service you can do.
Sure, Mataji.
It's gone. So, any other doubts, dear devotees? Okay, nice. We'll meet you next week. Thank you. Vancha kalpadarubhasya kripa sindhubhyeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.